Earl the Pearl, Steve Bides here from St. Louis. Earl, you always jamming. But let me tell you something about the destruction here in the metropolitan area in the city of St. Louis. It looks like Gaza Strip. And I know a lot of people from Atlanta are from St. Louis. If you go down Natural Bridge near Newstead, there's Mound City Bank on one corner, and there's another little small bank on the other corner. Red Ball was on the same side as the bank. And remember, Black Circle was, you had the record shop back in the day?
That's right.
That's right. It's destroyed.
The corner is gone?
It's still there, but there's no building there.
There's no building.
That's how heavy the destruction was.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It really is. It looks like the Gaza Strip. Our city looks like the Gaza Strip.
Okay, now the big
Beaumont High School.
Go ahead.
Beaumont High School, which was a big staple in the urban community. Pieces of that is still there, but half of it is gone. Can you imagine that, Beaumont High School?
Half of the school is gone?
Half of the school is gone. Fairgrounds Park didn't take too much of a hit, but the buildings around that did. The buildings on Kossuth, which were right across the street from Fairgrounds Park, there's a few houses there that have roof damage. But other than that, that was it. That was it. I mean, the tornado bounced one block to the other.
Man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And a lot of people are getting help. FEMA hasn't gotten here yet. But a lot of community organizations are giving people food. They're giving them items to wash themselves if they don't have anything to wash themselves because, hey, the storm blew out their homes. Some houses look like doll houses where the windows have been blown out. Cars have been damaged. It's bad. It's really bad. And let's see what the new mayor of the city of St. Louis is going to do. And her name is Kara Spence. People are talking about, well, why don't they use some of the Rams money for the Rams left? That's not going to do it all. Maybe this will be a good sign of the mayor of the city of St. Louis fill some of these gaps in some of these neighborhoods with housing or something like that. Because if you're from St. Louis, you know that most of these blocks have nothing but empty buildings or just vacant lots. And we need to do something to fill those lots. And maybe this is the first time that something is going to actually be done about it. And don't forget now, Earl the Pearl, you got the new NGA that's right there on the corner of Cass Avenue and Jefferson. A lot of people are trying to move back into the city from Illinois, where the SGA was before. And this will be a great opportunity for them to build in the urban neighborhoods. It's rough here. So if you're from St. Louis, please check on your loved ones and your friends because it's bad here.
I got a couple of questions. I mean, I've been hearing that there's a land grab going on even as we speak. And ladies and gentlemen, just in case you just joined us, I'm talking to broadcast legend in St. Louis, Mr. Steve Bides, who's been well known in the industry nationwide, also ring announcer, production extraordinaire. And he's telling us about the tornado conditions in St. Louis happening. He's from St. Louis. I really am excited that you're here to really share some additional information that from a melanated perspective. We need that melanated perspective because the mainstream media is saying one thing and Steve Bides is saying another. Go ahead, Steve.
True. Let me tell you another thing. If anybody that you know that lived on Waterman or those areas near Skinker and Delmar, their places have been hit too. You talk about the Delmar Divide. It didn't go into U City or anything like that, but if you're any block east or west of Delmar, it's bad. It's bad. So if you have any loved ones, please call them and check on them if they still have power. A lot of these places still don't have power, Earl.
Steve, we had 5,000.
Think about
5,000 buildings.
Think about the oldest citizens. 5,000 buildings destroyed.
That's correct.
And not everybody has a cell phone, especially the senior citizens. They probably still have landlines.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to check on them or have a friend check on them or something, because it's really bad here. You don't hear too many stories about the looting here in the St. Louis area, but as soon as the weather starts to clear up, that's going to happen.
Steve,
so people are out there trying to protect their homes.
They're looting right now, especially in areas in the far north side, on the other side of Natural Bridge, the other side of the northern side of Newstead, Margarita. We have reports of looting right now.
That is so sad, because what are you taking from each other? Black people are stealing from each other in a difficult time. That doesn't make any sense at all. But this is the world in which we live in.
Man, I'm just lost for words. Governor Keogh appealing to Donald Trump for aid on the ground, and they're moving so slow, Steve. They're moving slow.
I know. A lot of places in that area, the stoplights are not working still. Always at the corner of Natural Bridge and Grand Avenue.
Right.
And the lights aren't working. So you have to be careful.
The lights are not working at Natural Bridge and Grand.
Right. The stoplight.
Now, can you talk a little bit about the other side of the Delmar Divide as Mac Beats has joined us to talk about the travesty in the St. Louis area? Steve,
unfortunately, U City, especially on Delmar, some of those buildings and stores haven't been touched. But as you go down toward Waterman and Skinker and those areas, the Gibberville, in those areas, let's say Hodemont in those areas, Hamilton in those areas, they were hit hard. So we're familiar with those areas. Early.
Yes,
I mean, I know you are, because you lived in that area back then.
Very familiar with those areas.
The people are waiting on aid. They're waiting on FEMA to come here, and we really need some help.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All I know about the areas with housing are the areas that are being hit. The houses on Waterman, for instance. The houses on McPherson, for instance. Those blocks are being hit hard.
Wow. Okay. Now, the south side of St. Louis.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing in the south side.
Nothing.
That's
unbelievable. As the song says, absolutely. As the song says, absolutely nothing. Nothing. Wow. Nothing on the south side. Most of the areas were hit on the urban side.
Okay, and so North County, Steve By?
Some areas in North County. Florissant, there hasn't been, Florissant lies in a low-lying area, so they weren't hit hard, but still, I mean, they had a few power outages there, but mainly in the city, mainly North St. Louis was hit hard. I was driving down Highway 70 eastbound, headed to downtown, and I noticed all the debris, and I'm wondering, where's all this debris coming from? So we've been hit hard, and if you have any relatives living in the area, please check and call them.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you just joined us, this Earl the Pearl, Steve Byes, radio legend, has joined me and Mac Beats. Mac Beats is with us to talk about the travesty of the tornado situation in St. Louis and sirens not going off. Steve, can you talk just a little bit about those sirens?
Oh, well, I was out of town most of the weekend. So when I came home early Sunday night, Monday morning. And that's when I saw most of the devastation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you don't know, the National Guard is on the ground in St. Louis. And FEMA supposedly had arrived today to do an investigation. Have you heard anything about the investigation that FEMA has done, Steve?
No, I haven't heard of anything. But before today, FEMA hadn't come to visit the St. Louis area. Not yet. So it's touch and go.
Okay. West County, Do you have any information on West County, West St.
West
Louis?
County wasn't touched.
West County wasn't touched.
Right.
How about St. Charles County?
Just some thunderstorms, but they weren't touched.
Steve, it just seems like the tornado came straight to the near north side, and it's the North St. Louis, and that sounds like, I know it's more extensive than that, but the damages are extensive in North St. Louis.
Yes. Pearl, I gotta tell you folks to be careful out there. Check on your loved ones.
Man, I really do appreciate you stopping by, man, and yeoman's work. Thank you for those great words, and we'll be seeing you on the radio.
For sure. Thanks a lot, folks.
Steve Bives, a radio legend from St. Louis. Mac Beats, welcome.
Thank you. Man, it's a lot going down in St. Louis right now. They got a lot of stuff going on with looting. They got people getting robbed out there. And it's only the same people that was in there in the same situation that you were in. That's the messed up part. They're robbing people who are just around the corner from them. And are just right there, living around, going to the same store as them. People's houses have been torn open, like a wide open door, and people just running in taking stuff. After people left their property, people are afraid to leave their house because they don't want everything they own to be ransacked and stolen by their own folks. To be your own people. So I hope that it's less looting and more people helping, because a lot of people, more so before FEMA came in, there's a lot of people I saw on Facebook that are in Nashville, that are in Dallas, that are in Memphis, Atlanta, where I'm from. They're in South Carolina. It's St. Louis people everywhere saying that they're going home and helping. And that right there is what you need in this type of situation. Before FEMA does their investigation and starts looking and pondering, a lot of y'all already went home and are already helping. So I'm here to salute y'all for that. Definitely, y'all going home and doing your own work for your own hometown, and I can definitely respect and appreciate that. So only thing I got to say is I hope this looting goes down, and if you robbing somebody, especially don't be robbing somebody that's broke in the same situation you in. You running amongst tornado debris with a 55-inch screen TV, and you don't have power yet. You just gonna set it down in your house. There's people with transformers lodged into their roof, and we worried about PlayStation 5s that won't plug up. Nah, we gotta do it different than that.
Absolutely, I agree wholeheartedly, and to hear that people are going into other people's homes that have been devastated and are looting and are taking things that don't belong to them. That's travesty. The National Guard, ladies and gentlemen, is on the ground in St. Louis right now. FEMA is supposedly investigating. I'm trying to figure out what's taking so long to get some relief to people of the north side, the melanated community of the north side St. Louis. It's terrible that they would take so long to respond, and people are attempting to steal property. They're actually showing up in front of people's property, and there is a guy from Florissant that tried to obtain some property in Delwood, Missouri, and tried to name it a police headquarters. That's crazy. That's crazy. And maybe this is a lesson to our people to come together. It's a terrible, terrible thing. But maybe this is a lesson for us to finally start coming together and not backbiting so much. As many of you know, St. Louis has a reputation of being a wholesome community in many regards, especially in the county area. I'm not going to beat up my city, MacB. However, we do have a reputation of backstabbing in many areas, in many situations, in many conditions. We have a reputation of hurting people, killing people, stealing, pilfering. Maybe this is a wake-up call, you guys, especially in this present administration, turn their nose up to us in terms of coming to our assistance. They have moved slow. They have dragged their feet, and it's inexcusable for them to move like this when we've been paying tax dollars for decades. And so I think we deserve better. The mayor has made some tremendous errors in turning on the sirens for the tornadoes. They weren't able to turn the sirens on, so therefore thousands more people were affected and impacted. Thank God it wasn't more people who were killed. So the mayor, I think this is going to be a one-term mayor. She's trying to really take care of her constituents now that everything has blown up in her face. But there's no excuse for us not having sirens. Ever since I was a little guy, we had sirens that would come on in St. Louis and warn us even when there wasn't serious tornadoes. And so now they're not working? You need to be run out of town, Mayor. We can't have this. We can't have this. And ladies and gentlemen, come together in the St. Louis area, help one another, love each other. This is your wake-up call to come together, because it may not get any better. It might get worse, and we have to depend on each other.
Well, it looks like I got something the mayor may not have. I got something the mayor ain't got. The Weather Channel. Well, I got the Weather Channel, and you know what? The fun part about it is it's on my phone too. And guess what? They got an app. Did you know that? The Weather Channel has an app, and you can download it, and it'll tell you if some weather that's extreme is coming to your area. Boom! Imagine that. I got something the mayor ain't got. That's terrible.
You're correct, MacBees. It's on us to know what the forecast is. We don't have to look at KMOV. We don't have to look at KSDK. We don't have to look at KTVI. We don't have to see those TV stations. Well, we got cell phones. Cell phones give you the forecast all the time, yo.
And black folks always on their phones anyway.
They always on your phone. So why don't you know the forecast and you let a tornado come right up on your doorstep and not know it was coming?
I mean,
thousands of people that they got caught surprised. Come on, y'all, wake up. Please wake up. Please.
The regular folks I can get, but not the mayor. The mayor needs to be the first one sounding or making sure some sirens are going on so the people can know. The people that maybe don't know how to reach the Weather Channel, don't know how to spell weather. Some of them can hear the siren and say, okay, y'all get the kids, get them into the basement or something like that. And really, with that, that's obvious. That's obvious. These things are supposed to be tested. And I know they get tested every month or so. They get tested. Maybe the mayor just dropped the ball on that. Maybe the mayor wasn't paying attention and didn't really notice it until it was time. Or maybe the mayor just has a basement. Because I remember you asked about West County and St. Charles in the more affluent areas and the more middle to upper class areas. I think maybe that's what's going on. I think if it was the St. Charles, West County area or the more affluent upper class area, you would have definitely heard sirens and FEMA would have been there the next day.
That argument sounds authentic, but MacBees, we had destruction on Pershing, Westminster. We had destruction on some of the affluent streets adjoining Kings Highway Union and between Kings Highway and Union and Forest Park. So there was some destruction. I've heard about some destruction in the city park, Forest Park. So how about we take a break and then come right back